I'll be honest, I was this close to giving up on animated movies, but Elio, the newest movie by Disney Pixar, really caught me off guard. In this review, I'm going to break down what makes this movie stand out, how it stacks up against other Pixar films, and if you stick around, I got something for some of you who may have felt like at some point in your life, you've never fit in. Let's start with the story. I thought that it was beautifully written. It has a simple plot that will be easy for kids to follow, but it wasn't too simple to lose the attention of adults. Elio is like many of us who just doesn't feel like he fits in or belongs anywhere. There is a heartbreaking story on why he feels this way, and it really makes you feel for this character. Now it's on this journey that he meets the completely awesome Glorden, who feels the exact same way that Elio does, and they become best friends. In the end, they both learned that the belonging that they were looking for was just right in front of them the entire time. This story really does pull at the heartstrings, and everybody can relate to this story at some point from some moment in their own life. My critique of the story would be that it could be a little too simplistic at times. I think they could have added another 15 minutes to this movie where they could have just given a little bit more depth to some of those story points, especially that heartbreaking story point that I had mentioned earlier. And also to explore the emotions a little bit deeper. I think this would have given some of them some added weight and a deeper connection to these characters. Now the story really is the heart and soul of this movie, but I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the animation and some of the attentions to detail that it had. The animators did a fantastic job. The graphics all look clean and fluid. The scenes with all the alien world stuff was just fantastic. They were so colorful and vibrant and at times a little bit trippy, but in a good way. And speaking of that alien world, there was one specific attention to detail that was subtle but done in an awesome and an amazing way. As we would expect, each of these alien races have their own language, their own body temperature, they all react to gravity differently, and they came up with this ingenious way that they could solve this problem of all these different races interacting with each other and being able to understand each other by just having this little piece of technology that they came up with that just stuck right here on their chest. And this allowed them to be able to hear everybody else in their own language and able to just live and be able to function exactly how they needed to survive. It was subtle, but I thought it was a great way to handle those details that usually just get skipped over in a movie like this. Or if they try to talk about it, it gets a little too technical and cumbersome. So we know that this movie was good, but how does it stack up against other Pixar films? Now, I'm going to say for me personally, this was the best Pixar movie since Up. Now, it's not as good as Up, and really, it's not even close to as good as Up, but I would say it's probably the best thing since then. I know that a lot of people hold the movie Inside Out very high, and I haven't seen that yet, so I can't comment one way or the other, but I will say this though. It definitely is either the best or the second best Pixar movie in the past 16 years. So what would I rate this movie? Well, before I get into that, let's look at what others rated it first. The critics on Rotten Tomatoes gave this movie an 84%. And the audience score was a 91%. I really felt that both these scores kind of fit right in line in where this movie should be. IMDb has this movie at a 7.1, so it looks like they don't seem to like it as much as the critic and audience score does over at Rotten Tomatoes. Now, if I was a kid, I probably would have rated this movie a little bit higher, but being an adult, it was a little bit too simplistic of a story for me to rate it too high. Now, that being said, I still give this movie a solid 7.5 out of 10. But if I was a kid, I probably would have rated it closer to an 8.5 or a 9 out of 10. I really do think this was a good movie and a spectacular movie for kids. Now, whether you're a kid or an adult, you absolutely need to go see this movie, as it's going to be a wonderful time of family fun that you will not be disappointed in. If you love movies like I do, then you're going to fit right in on this channel. No matter your story or background, you belong right here. This is a community for people who love movies or who just want a place to feel at home. So if that's you, hit that subscribe button and come be a part of this amazing community that we have going on right here. And if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to give it a like. And since you're here, why don't you go check out how a live action remake is supposed to be done and go look at my review of the new How to Train Your Dragon live action remake right here. I hope each and every one of you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next review.